Hi, welcome back to GlowingUP Shawna. I'm Shawna. Today I wanted to do a video recreation of another influencer that her name, she goes by the tag of Drugstore Maven, and she did a really great video the other day of her drugstore staples that she uses every day. And some of the products I had heard of, but they were sort of products from maybe a couple years back that I have never used, and a couple of them I just happen to have. So I wanted to use her everyday routine and see if I sort of find any new products that I might love as much as she does. One thing that I hear from a lot of people is that, especially with this current economy, it's really nice to find a way to do your makeup that looks, great, but at a nice drugstore price. So that's why I was sort of really interested in trying to discover some new products. So the thing that she said she starts off every single day with is this Naked Sundays SPF 50 under her makeup. It's a collagen glow mineral sunscreen. Has a little bit of a tint to it and a little bit of a glow to it, if you can see. And before this I did do a little spritz of hydration because it's been a couple hours since I've done my skin prep. So I think I will go into my Anua just one more time and do. This was not a part of her routine, but it will be a part of mine. And then for foundation, she, like many people, recommend this Maybelline Super Stay. It's called a skin tint, but she says it's like a foundation, and honestly, it has been sort of, so many people talk about that this one locks in your makeup. Like, this will last all day. So like if you live in a humid environment, the Maybelline Super Stay will stay on your skin like nothing else, and it has a little bit of a glow to it. So I'm coming in right in the center first, and this is a Morphe M100 face brush. So it's a foundation brush on one side and a concealer on the other. I'll tag her in the bottom of this video so you guys can follow her. She's really great. And then she also liked, for her color corrector under her eyes, she used the Morphe's Wake Up. Let's see, what's it called? Wake Up Artist. I think she has lighter skin than I do, so she used the light pink color, but I'm gonna use the pink. Just a couple dots down here and a couple dots up here. And then of course with this Morphe brush, I'm going to use the other side of the brush. So it's the concealer. You know, it's funny because Morphe has made a huge comeback in the last couple years. And they're now in Ulta. And so I don't know if people consider that drugstore. They're now actually in Target and stuff too. So it's definitely not the lowest price of drugstore price point, but it's definitely not like a high-end luxury price point, and the quality for what you are paying is exceptionally good. Okay, so that was the Morphe color corrector, and then she used this NYX Bear With Me concealer. It's a serum concealer. I don't usually use a concealer in this form, so I'm just going to put a dot on my hand and then just kind of come in. I don't want to do too much. Just come in with a little like dot here, and then a little bit of color right in there, and then a lifting off to the side. I like a little bit of concealer here and here. So Morphe has made a huge run in the last year or two and come out with just some incredibly good products. So if you go into Ulta and check out Morphe, they have some really great stuff. Okay, so that is the concealer, and then what she did, she used this e.l.f. Camo Concealer for the bronzer. So again, I'm gonna just go in. This is not one that I'm really familiar with, So I'm just going to put it on my hand and then use that foundation brush that already has a little bit of that foundation on it and just tap it in so it's not super crazy if I go directly on the face. Okay, it's not going super crazy. And by the way, this is the color light. So I had light, medium, and tan in this camo bronzer. Even though it's kind of the end of summer right now, the other ones just look a little darker than I wanted. So with the bronzer, I like to bring it up on the top of my forehead. I don't usually like this brush is not really blending like I like it. And just kind of put the bronzer right there, little the chin. And then for her blush, sorry, not to avoid you in the mirror here. She used this Morphe blush palette, which is a three-way. These blush palettes from Morphe are called the Cheek Thrills, and this particular color is After Party. And what's great about this, it's a three palette product, and the top is a cream, and then it has a powder blush, and then a little shimmer. So it's kind of like the whole look in one. I'm gonna use this blush brush, the Morphe M200. And so coming in with the denser side of this, going into the cream side, and bringing it just right up here. Now this is her like everyday makeup. So her eye routine isn't exactly extensive. It's just real basic, which is kind of great for like just going to work or, you know, running around town. Nothing too crazy. Okay, and then she comes on top of that with the powder. So I'm gonna, again, just the other side of the Morphe brush and just gently powder that just to set that cream down. By setting down the cream on with the powder, it just makes it last longer, gives your makeup a little more longevity. And then with the bronzer, her favorite bronzer for powder is from L'Oreal, and she uses the L'Oreal Infallible in the bronzer color 300. So, and I've heard a lot of great things about this. The packaging is a little, you know, nothing fancy. It feels a little bit cheap, if I'm being honest, but it's also a really good price point. So I want to use the Morphe bronzer brush. Oh, I'm dropping brushes. This is the Morphe Sculpting M240 brush. So just coming with the powder side and just going over the bronzer with the powder bronzer. And then for her eye makeup, instead of doing an actual like eye look, she just actually came in with the same powder bronzer and did just a bronzer eye, just so it's all cohesive and nothing too crazy, but it just looks real natural and really pretty. So I'm gonna do that. A lot of people have given me feedback that they want a fast and easy makeup routine. So this is an attempt to give sort of a twofer of drugstore makeup that's great and also easy and fast. Okay, so that's just the bronzer in the crease, and again, nothing fancy or dramatic. Both of the powders she uses to set all of her makeup also was from Morphe. She used a Morphe like loose powder for her under eyes in a light pink. I didn't have the exact one that she has, but I have the little 4-way palette that they just came out with. So, and it has like the purple, the pink, the yellow, the green. It's like a color correcting set. So I'm sure that this pink is their same. So I'm just gonna pop out the pink from this palette and use this to set my under eyes. Now, over 50, we want to be really careful with setting with powder, right? So put a little bit of that loose powder maybe on the brush and then knock most of it off on your hand. So you're not really putting much on. And I'm using this brush as the Nikki LaRose BK Beauty N14 brush. And it's just like a nice little tiny, perfect brush for powder under your eyes. And so that will kind of lock in that concealer. And then for the rest of her face, she uses the newer Cloud Light version. And this is a really light powder. Let me show it to you. Boop. Powder, Cloud Light. This one is called Sunrise. And there's different colors based on the color of your skin. I'm going to go in with this same N14. And I just use powder for setting very strategically in the T-zone. I don't go all over because you don't want to look cakey and dry. You just really want to use a powder to set where you get oily during the day and to kind of make sure your makeup stays, but not anything overly done. And also, if you do a little bit of the setting powder around your lip line before you go in with a lip liner, it helps it to all adhere too, which is very helpful. I do a little line like right under my bronzer line just to kind of make it separated. The one thing I did not have that she uses, she uses the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and I have the NYX Precision Brow Pencil, so I didn't want to go out and buy a whole new brow product. So this one I actually have really liked. The color is soft brown. It has the spoolie on the one side, and then on this side, it just has a little, just like a little bit of a brown gel, and it's like a single line. And just kind of come in and just fill in your brow. With a brow liner or brow pen or pencil, you just really want to gently fill in any gaps that you have in the brow hair. You don't really want to make it look like you're drawing in a line, but many little lines that sort of mimic the hairs. And then the Maybelline Super Luck gel is what she used for her brow gel to set the brows. So they have clear and they have the colored. So I think she used the clear one. So it just literally is clear gel to come in and just make your brows stay exactly how you want them to stay all day. I have the colored one also. I have it in taupe, which is a good color for kind of dark blonde. And a ton of people talk about this brow gel as like sort of the goat of the drugstore for brow gel. And I actually really, really like it too. For her under eye liner, she uses this Maybelline gel pot liner. It's called Tattoo Studio. I have it in the color brown. And then you just use it with, it comes actually with a brush, which is kind of nice. I don't know what happened to that brush. So I'm going to go in with my BK Beauty 208, which is this little teeny tiny, I don't know if you can see it. It's just this tiny liner brush. And the gel, you just kind of have to like, before I go in on my eye, I just kind of like to work it on my hand a little bit and just make sure it's on the brush, not like clumpy. And then she uses that under her eye and makes a tiny bit of a wing up here. But with a gel liner, I've always used a gel liner in like a liner, like a stick liner, like a, not in a pot, but this actually is a really nice way to put it on as well. And this amount of gel will literally last you, I don't know if it expires, but it'll last you until that happens for sure. If you use it every day of your life, you are gonna probably not run out. But there's a lot of liner in here. So from a cost perspective, it's probably way better to get this little pot liner than a pencil. There's that Maybelline gel liner on the bottom with just a little wing upward. And then she said her very, very favorite eyeliner is the LA Girl Ultimate Ultimate Eye, and I have this in brown. So she said she puts this in the waterline on the top and bottom. So I'm gonna go in, and this is waterproof. Mine is called the Deepest Brown. It's Intense Stay Auto Liner. LA Girl, I'm pretty sure you can buy it at Ulta also. So in order to get it not on the lid, but just in that sort of, she said waterline, but I'm just going in to the tight lining basically. And I cannot do that without holding my top lid up. Sorry about that. And then she said her very, very favorite mascara is the Panorama from L'Oreal. So I got this in black. And so I'm going to come in. I've actually loved the Extensionist by L'Oreal, but I haven't actually used the Panorama. But I've heard a ton of people that love the Panorama, the Telescopic, and the Extensionist from L'Oreal are all like really, really loved, like cult following kind of love mascaras. Okay, there's our mascara. And then let's see, for her lip, she's using one of like the all-time best lip liners from the drugstore, the Maybelline Lifter liner. She used a color called Let's Bounce. That's like the one that I didn't have. And so I'm going to use my favorite one called On It, and it's a little bit more of a brown. This liner is one of those liners that you can put it on in the morning. And I never find that any lip liner, even if it's a stain, stays on me all day like some people say. A lot of people say this lip liner will literally stay forever, all day on their lips. And I don't know if I'm doing it wrong or they're exaggerating their claims or what. I have literally never had any lip liner stay on all day for me. But this one does stay on longer than most, and they have great colors. A lot of just kind of like Your Lip But Better colors. And then for her lip product on top of the liner, she's recommending the NYX Lip IV, which is a hydrating glassy serum, but also it's a lip stain. And the one I'm using right now is called Hydra Honey, which kind of matches this color. Her explanation was that between this liner and this lip serum / stain gloss, that it literally, the combo will stay on your lips for hours. So I think that's pretty, and we will see if it does. And then her last little stip that she uses is this Pixie little highlighter glow. She just took a little bit on her finger and just kind of put a little touch of highlighter right there, just for a little bit of zhuzh. So for me, this is a much more dialed back makeup routine than I would normally do, because I am a little extra and do a little more like glitter and everything like that. But I actually do think that's one of the reasons why I want to just try someone else's sort of everyday routine, because I think it actually looks good, and it was super fast. So, and very inexpensive. So all the products are easy to find at Ulta or Target or your local grocery store. Yeah, I think it looks great. So thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe and share this with a friend if you know somebody that would enjoy this. And thank you to the Drugstore Maven for your suggestions. And everybody should go follow her too. Okay, have a great day. Bye.